is enough.
I want the world to be the best place for my children.
You are not alone.
We need renegades to be part of this movement, and they're the ones that are going to change the world.
Welcome back to Renegade Radio, the podcast dedicated to the dissenters of the status quo, bringing you the mindset and strategies to build a healthier, happier, and stronger family, the Renegade way.
It's so important to be a renegade.
Welcome back to another episode of FAQ Friday on Renegade Radio. This is your host, Todd Gignac, and
Carolina.
And welcome back. So today we are continuing from last week where Amy from Shreveport asked us about removing chemicals from our home and where to start. And we had some great tips. Well, I think they were great in our last episode, but we kind of got into personal care products and thought that would be an episode of its own. So why don't we get into that, Carolina, a little bit, and maybe we'll just start with, say, shampoo.
Yeah, sounds good. So I think most people shampoo their hair every single day without even thinking about it.
What?
Why do we do that?
Because the TV done told me to.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to have beautiful Pantene hair? And I used to use Pantene shampoo as well. And I loved the way my hair smelled and it looked so beautiful. But since moving to Australia, we had a bit of a thought shift. And about 4 years ago, I actually started questioning, why am I using shampoo every single day to wash my hair every single day? Because your body is always trying to regulate itself, and your scalp is no different.
Wait a minute, get out of here. Your body regulates itself?
Yes.
I thought I needed some help with that, no?
Yeah, well, normally there's pills for that.
Pills, right.
But yes, it does do it on its own.
Yeah.
So your scalp is no different. It's always trying to regulate the oils, and when we're constantly washing off the oils, your body produces more to regulate. So that's why when I would skip a day washing my hair, it looked like I had Vaseline run all through my scalp.
Oily McGee.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. So I went for 6 months without shampooing my hair.
What?
Using vinegar to break the grease every couple weeks, and also to condition it. And I even used egg once, but that didn't really work.
Sounds like you were trying to make a meal in your head or something.
But I think when it comes down to using personal care products, we really just need to think about why we're doing it. Is it something that we really need to do? Is it something that we need to do as frequently as we're being taught? So right now we use a coconut-based product to wash our hair, and we only wash our hair every week, once a week, myself and the girls.
Yeah, I'm a habitual washer, but I don't have a lot of hair, so I don't seem to have those dramas. But our point too is, as alluded from our last show, is that these care products are loaded with chemicals. So
and
you want to wash every day. That's something to look into. But the reality is it's chemicals. So if you're using chemical products and you're washing hair, skin, etc., once a day, twice a day, you're bathing in chemicals constantly.
Well, and then to also add the point of hot water in the shower opens your pores, and while your pores are open, your body's absorbing all those chemicals at a really high rate. So you're getting a lot of toxins in a really short period of time, and you really don't need that.
No, and speaking of hot water, what happens if the water, Carolina, itself is toxic and you're breathing the steam?
Same thing.
What? So you're saying that myself and perhaps the listeners might want to filter their water in some way, shape, or form?
Indeed, with a whole house filter, maybe a carbon filter.
Cool.
Or in Adelaide, we used to have a shower head carbon filter, and that was really, really good. It took out the chlorine.
Yep, so we'd recommend that as well for your showers, gang. Ideally, whole house. If you're on more of a budget, of course, then just get one for the shower head to take out the chlorine and things like that that you're going to be, they're aerosolized when it's hot, right? Like steam, and then you're just breathing it.
Yeah, it's like, some of the water sources is like pool water.
Yeah.
Completely chlorinated.
Yeah. So how about moving on? Let's just talk about soaps for a second. What kind of soaps would you recommend, Carolina?
We use the same brand. It's Biologica, and that's coconut based.
Yeah.
So in Australia, there's we're lucky again to have these great products. Biologica is the shampoo that we use, as well as the soap.
Yep, and if you're in the States or the UK, wherever you are, I'm sure there are versions of what we're talking about. They're natural,
no chemical,
plant-based, chemical-free.
If there's a ingredient that you can't pronounce, or if there's an ingredient that has 20 or more letters, like way too many consonants.
Yeah. Or it could
it's
be
a
from
chemical.
Wales or something.
It could be, or from Greece or something.
Yeah.
And then, I really want to impress on people thinking for themselves, and really maybe even just thinking back to what people did 100 years ago. And, running water was a luxury, or maybe people didn't even have running water.
That's right.
And so they weren't bathing regularly, and they weren't washing their bodies regularly. And we have oils that are produced naturally that are there to protect our skin and to protect our bodies. So if we're constantly washing that off, we're not growing our health.
And we're not talking about being unhygienic and gross here. Obviously, if you're out in the sun working all day, playing sport, we're not saying be stinky and gross. We're just saying, most people work in an office all day, you probably don't you probably don't need to bathe, or maybe, your bits and pieces and call it a wrap.
Yeah. Because we're, truthfully, we're not working out in the fields. We're not plowing fields, and we're not growing our own food. Most of us are sitting in offices working. And so we really have no reason to be soaping down our whole entire bodies. Important bits and pieces, most definitely. Soap those bad boys up. But then there's also the issue with vitamin D. You want to tell everyone about the vitamin D?
Well, a little bit, and I'm not going to pretend I'm the foremost world's expert on vitamin D absorption, but from what I have read is that as you've been exposed to the sun and you get that little bit of pinkness, if you go right home and soap up, particularly with a chemical, your traditional commercial brand soaps with chemicals, that's going to interfere with the absorption of the vitamin D, so you're not really going to get the benefit of the fact that you just got a good dose of sun. So one more reason.
So you're not getting the vitamin D from the sun anymore because you're going home and washing yourself off.
Yeah, and I think it's magnified by using chemical commercial soaps.
Because I can't remember the number of hours, but it's, I think, over 24 hours that it takes for the process of vitamin D to be absorbed into your body.
Yeah, I think it was 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
Interesting. How about let's move on to deodorants, because that's kind of a big one. But I think most people are kind of catching on to at least not using, aluminum-based antiperspirants.
I don't know.
Folks, if you're still using antiperspirants with aluminum, please stop.
Well, antiperspirants
are all
aluminum.
You're supposed to sweat.
Aluminium.
Yeah, if you're in Australia, aluminium. You're supposed to sweat. That's one of your body's ways of detoxing. So you don't want to block that up. And
sweating isn't pretty, I know, because I'm a huge sweater.
And you certainly don't want to use aluminums because those are neurotoxic and have been linked to contributing to breast cancers and nasty stuff.
Well, it's a heavy metal.
Yeah. But aside from aluminum, there's going to be other chemicals and perfumes and so on. So just find yourself some natural.
So we used to
make your own.
You can make your own. We used to make our own. We used to buy a natural kind of deodorant. It wasn't antiperspirant because we knew that was bad, and it said natural on the front of it. And I never really bothered looking at the ingredients. And
it was name brand as well.
Yeah, it was a name brand, trusted brand from the States that I bought like 10 of them, and we put them in our suitcases and brought them back to Australia. And I was even giving them to my friends. So one morning I used to lead a workout group for moms in Bagara, just outside of Bundaberg. And I ran out of deodorant. And so, no, wait, I didn't run out of deodorant. I was looking online and looking at ingredients. Anyway, one of the ingredients in the deodorant was triclosan. And triclosan is an antibacterial put in there to stop stink. And so triclosan also can contribute to breast cancer. So we were talking about it. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to use my deodorant anymore. I'm really quite stinky when I get sweaty. And Todd goes, oh, remember you said, why don't you start using colloidal silver on your armpits?
Yeah.
Because colloidal silver is antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. So I used colloidal silver for that morning and the workout, hot, humid workout, and I didn't smell at all afterwards.
Yeah.
That was like a miracle.
And the colloidal silver gang is just good to have around anyway for cuts, abrasions, things like that.
So now we use colloidal silver.
I actually been using a deodorant called World's Best Deodorant, which is also all natural, like tea tree oils and coconut oil. And it works fantastic as well.
I'm still committed to my colloidal silver.
She likes the silver. How about lotion? We'll keep that short and sweet. Ditch the white creamy stuff with chemicals and flavors and perfumes.
Those creamy ones, actually, some of them contain nickel. And that's not on the ingredient list.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are very sensitive.
Save yourself the money.
And they're expensive.
Yeah. And just get yourself some coconut oil and call it a wrap.
Coconut oil, or we use jojoba oil as well.
Yeah.
Any good high quality oil, but those lotions, man, they are full of bad stuff.
And speaking of lotions, this isn't necessarily, I guess you'd call it personal care. It would be sunscreen. The powers that be got us all paranoid about the sun, and it's that bad, it's going to cause skin cancer and so on.
And wash your 2,000 body parts.
2,000 body parts. So, since the advent of sunscreen, skin cancer's gone way up. So the problem isn't that we're getting too much sun. The problem is we have crap diets. We're not getting enough vitamin D because we work indoors all day now. And then when we do go outdoors, cover up, put on sunscreen, don't ever see the sun, which is nonsense. Now, you don't want to go out and scorch yourself either. That's not healthy, but a bit of sun is okay. So if you are going to be out for prolonged periods, particularly in the summer months, you're probably going to want some sunscreen, and just make sure that it's natural. That there are chemical-free, heavy metal-free sunscreens, which are out there. A lot of different websites, depending on where you live. Just Google it. And,
you'll pay a bit more money for it.
Yeah, but it lasts a long time. And you can find them at health food stores and things like that as well. And the other one we want to get into, kind of wrapping it up here, would be insect sprays, mosquito repellent and things like that. Those are some really potentially toxic stuff there. And obviously you lather yourself up.
There are mozzies here the size of like 50-cent pieces.
Yeah, it's like bigger than your face.
They're huge, and they bite through your clothes. And then we have the midgies.
Yeah, which are like no-see-ums.
Like no-see-ums.
So bug sprays, again, you want to find some natural versions. Usually there's various...
They're like mint-based.
Yeah, tea tree oils. They're kind of like your
essential oils.
Stinky, but natural oils and things like that that do a pretty good job. They might not do as good as, the DDT super spray, but I would rather have potentially a few bites than, like cancers and weird autoimmune disorders and whatnot from all the chemicals.
And there's also the citronella plants.
Yeah, citronella. You can use the candles and the coils and stuff like that if you're just kind of, sitting on your back porch or something like that. Carolina, are there any other personal care products we want to address here? We kind of covered the main ones anyway.
Yeah, I think we kind of covered it all.
Perfumes and colognes, spray. I think we talked before. Spray it on your clothes, not on your skin.
But you're still smelling it all day.
Yeah, but some people are really attached for whatever reason to their.
Yeah, I would say definitely spray it on your clothes, because it's just a bottle of chemicals. And when you spray it on your skin, what's it going to do? Absorb into your body.
Yeah. So,
I think we hit it.
I think we hit it. And please send us your questions for future shows at FAQ@therenegadefamily.com. FAQ@therenegadefamily.com. Again, this is your host, Dr. Todd, and
Carolina.
Yeep, yeep. Have a blessed day, gang, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
I love you, Daddy.
We're counting on you.
My mom is a renegade.
Thanks for tuning in to Renegade Radio. If you haven't yet done so, please subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us a rating and review. Also, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TRFTribe. Please email us your questions for FAQ Friday, and we'll do our best to answer them in a future show. Simply email us at FAQ@therenegadefamily.com. If you got value from this episode and know someone else that would benefit from it as well, please share it with them.
Changing the world is going to start in your house. This is Dr. Todd, and from my family to yours, we wish you all the best. God bless, and we'll catch you soon.
Renegades, man up!